Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming at you guys with a foundation review slash demo. It is a much higher end foundation. Some would even consider it luxury. So that is actually what I'm planning to do today. I'm actually getting ready for work and I just decided to go ahead and throw up my camera because I do want to use this foundation today just to kind of test it out a little more and to get a better feel for it, to see if it's something that I really need, or, you know, is it just something that I wanted? And the foundation today that I'm going to be talking about is actually by Kevyn and it's called the Etherealist Skin Illuminating Foundation. And this is what the packaging looks like. Like I said, it's definitely higher end. This retails for $58. To me, that's pretty pricey for a foundation, being as the most I've ever paid for a foundation I think is like maybe $42. So after tax and everything, it did come out to about $63 that I ended up spending on this guy. And you only get 0.95 fluid ounces of this. You don't get one full ounce. So that's kind of the bummer because you are paying $58 for this and you're not getting a full 1 ounce bottle. I've been reading the reviews like crazy because it is such a new foundation that there aren't that many videos or talk about this foundation. It's more just kind of based on customer review. This actually launched, I want to say, about 2 weeks ago. They had launched in the Sephora's. I ended up, picking up the color 6 medium, which is the first color for mediums. It is a dead perfect match. Like, I'm so happy that this matches me so well because I was going to be totally bummed if it didn't match me. So yeah, so I am the color medium EF06. That is how they have it labeled. It is called the Etherealist Skin Illuminating Foundation. And I'm just going to read quickly what it says right here on the box. It says the Etherealist Skin Illuminating Foundation celebrates a whole new world in foundation. This moisture-packed, lightweight foundation provides a luminous, airbrushed appearance, leaving skin with a natural radiant glow. The silky smooth texture delivers semi-satin medium coverage and blends effortlessly onto the skin for shine-free, comfortable wear. And then it has like a little pro tip. It says, for a seamless finish, apply foundation to the T-zone, forehead, nose, chin first, and blend outward towards jawline and hairline. Smooth with fingers and brush to eliminate any telltale lines. Blot with a tissue when finished. So it says to smooth with fingers. I don't use my fingers to apply any foundation. That's just my preference. I already suffer from acne prone skin. I have sensitive skin. I'm not really trying to use my fingers. Even if I wash them 100 times, I still want to apply with my fingers. That's just not really sanitary to me personally. But I will go in with a sponge, which is kind of like my fingers, I guess, but I think better. So maybe I'll use a sponge with this instead of a brush. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I did apply it with a brush, with the Morphe M439 brush. I absolutely hated it. I was actually speaking to my friend who was the one who told me about the foundation, and she told me that she applied it with a sponge and she absolutely loved it. And that is pretty much what I did, because I did try this on as soon as I got home. I wanted to make sure that it was the right color. I wanted to make sure that I liked the application of it and all that. And so I did really liking it with the sponge. And I'm still testing it out though, because I did only wear it for literally about like 30 minutes that day. I am, like I've said a million times, more combo to oily. I do get extremely oily on my T-zone, obviously, more oily right here on my cheeks. I feel like sometimes I just get oily all over my face, but depending on how I prep my skin, the more oil will seep through. I've already toned, moisturized, and primed my face. I've done my eyes, my eyebrows, as you can tell. This is strictly going to be a foundation application review demo. This isn't going to be anything else other than that. And then this is the actual product itself. I personally love this. I love foundation with pumps, especially if you're paying a good amount of money on it. It better have a pump, because I don't want to waste any product by dumping it onto my hand. I don't want to waste time by doing that, and I just don't want to make a mess. So I really love when products have pumps. It just makes life 10 times easier. Very chic. I love the color of it, how it kind of fades into an ombre effect. I'm going to quickly swatch this for you. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the bottle, and then this is what it looks like when it blends. It does, I want to say, slightly, very slightly does oxidize. Nothing to where I'm like, ew, I need a new color, like it oxidized too hardcore. Nothing like that. Okay, so I went ahead and wet my sponge, and like I said, I'm going to apply it with a sponge just because I've already tried it with the brush and I absolutely hated it. So I'm going to just do it with my favorite sponge, and this is the Real Techniques Diamond Edition sponge. This sponge is absolutely amazing. I think it is limited edition, so I'm going to have to hurry up and pick up a couple more. They're $10 each, which is not that bad for a sponge. You actually get a lot of room to play play with this, and that's why I like it a lot more and I prefer it over my other sponges. You're just able to really get different angles of your face. You get a flat part, you get all these cool little indentions in it that just really give you the access to just go over areas where you don't want to mess up. So I really do like that sponge. I'm gonna literally just apply it to the back of my hand. I literally just dip my bottom of my sponge into the foundation. I don't really go in and put it on my face just because I really like the application of this a lot better. So right off the bat, I really do love the application of this foundation. It just really applies very nicely. I don't have any type of complaints about the actual application of it once I do use a sponge. And I'm just gonna kind of take whatever I have on my hand and then put it right here on my forehead. I like the most coverage obviously on the bottom jawline, moving up to like my cheek area. I don't really care too much about this area just because I go in and again with another layer if I feel like I absolutely don't have any coverage there, or if I feel like I have enough coverage, then I'll just wait until I conceal, because I usually just hit that triangle anyways when I conceal and highlight. So it's more just like this bottom area that I like to have full coverage. My forehead, obviously I want some coverage, but I don't need full coverage. Like I don't really have any issues there. My nose, definitely like to have more of a fuller coverage look, because obviously that's where it goes the quickest. This is what it looks like not applied. I definitely have some redness, some spots, what it looks like with it on. So it definitely did do a great evening out my skin tone. It didn't cling to anything. You still can kind of see my redness right here. Oh, I didn't even say, this is actually more of a medium to fuller coverage foundation. You can definitely build up to a fuller coverage, but right off the bat, I do feel like this is more of a medium coverage. It doesn't cover all of my redness, but no foundation that I use usually covers the first time. I usually have to go in again with maybe half of another layer, but this actually did a pretty good job at just evening out my skin tone, giving me kind of like a nice flawless base. Slight redness, nothing insane. As you can tell, this is really red compared to this. You can barely even see. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. Yeah, so I really do like the first application of it that it gave me. It really did give me a nice kind of seamless, flawless look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my other side of my face really quickly. And I actually didn't use just one pump. I used about one pump and a half. So, but that's just my normal amount of foundation I use. I don't want to sit here and act like I use one pump the first time, because I don't. I actually use a pump and a half because I kind of already know how much coverage I'm going to need. So it is more of a kind of thinner consistency. I wouldn't say it's really thick, but I wouldn't say it's super watery either. It's just in the middle. So that is with the first layer done. And like I said, I did use a pump and a half. I do use a little bit more than just one pump because like I said, I already know the coverage that I'm looking for. And I automatically know that that is going to give me pretty much the evening of my face. I really like this foundation now that I'm doing it kind of in the light, and then I did my whole prepping and I'm doing it during the day and with a sponge. I actually really do like the way this turned out. It just made my skin very even. It didn't cling to anything. It literally lays on your skin, but it kind of sinks in, giving it more of like a natural flawless finish. Definitely can see that doing that. I feel like throughout the day this might wear really well. It's an illuminating foundation, so it's definitely going to give you more of a dewy, radiant, illuminating glow. Definitely can see that right off the bat. Yeah, if I buy a high-end foundation like this, I really do want to see results quickly, and I feel like this is just great. I do feel like I'm going to have to set this slightly just because I am very oily, and I don't want to get the dewiness over, I don't want my oil to overpower the dewiness and just look like a huge mess. So I'm going to have to set. But I'm going to go ahead and go in with just one more layer just to see if we can build this up. I literally went in with one pump this time because I don't want too much of a full coverage. So yeah, so that is done. This is just half the face with another layer. I actually do prefer it with another layer. It just looks a lot better. It looks like more evening out of my skin, and it just sinks in beautifully. I don't really see anything clinging. It doesn't go into my pores, and mind you, I didn't use any type of pore minimizing primer. I literally just used my Smashbox water primer that sprays, but this did a good job at kind of just like semi blurring out my pores. It didn't really blur them out completely, but like I said, I'm very kind of rock your natural face, and I don't really do anything to kind of fix any issues I have, unless they're super extreme, of course. But I do like to test out products just as is to see if it kind of does a good job on its own as fixing any kind of issues I may have. But yeah, I did okay with semi blurring them. I mean, you could still tell that I have pores, but they're nothing insane. I feel like this, when you do another layer, it definitely blurs it out more than this side. This side definitely, if you can see, let me zoom in, you can definitely see more pore on this side, and this side is just a little bit semi. So I'm gonna go ahead and go another layer again on this side, just because this is where my problem area is, and right here is where I have the most redness, dark spots, all that fun stuff. So I went again with another, just one pump. That is actually with 2 layers of foundation on. I really do like this foundation. It has been sitting on my face for a couple minutes now. My camera died on me, so I had to quickly change the battery. But it just really looks so natural, and still gives me like that very radiant, illuminating glow. So I really do like what it looks like so far. I'm gonna go ahead and just do what I normally do. I'm going to finish up my makeup, set my face. I know some people don't like to set their face when they're trying out a foundation. Me personally, I need to, especially if it's an illuminating foundation. I already know that if I do not set my face, the oil and the illuminating part are just gonna mix, and it's gonna just look like a really gross, greasy pan. It's just gonna look really bad. So I'm gonna set my face just because I want it to give me that illuminating without my oil really having an effect on it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just do the rest of my face really quickly, and I will come back when I am finished. So this is the final look. This is what I decided to do. I did a very just subtle, natural, kind of everyday makeup look. I'll list the products down below if you guys are interested. But yeah, so this is the final look. I actually really do like the foundation a lot. I'm gonna zoom you guys really close in. So this is what it looks like. It does just give me a nice radiant dewy glow. Like I said, blended so well, or my powders blended really well with the foundation. I didn't feel like I had to really like let it sit in and sink in. It kind of just dried pretty quickly. It does dry, like you could see, to a more of a kind of like satin finish. I don't really want to say it's powdery because it doesn't really look powdery, but it definitely has that very satin kind of illuminating look to it, which it definitely dries to. It did oxidize slightly, but nothing to where it's an extreme notice. I will obviously monitor it throughout the day to make sure that it doesn't oxidize any more. It is 12 o'clock right now. I'm going to be heading off, so I'll go ahead and do an update at 2 o'clock. I'm going to try to do a every couple hour update, just so you can really get the full effect of how it wears. But yeah, so I'm really liking it so far, and I cannot wait to check back in with you guys to let you guys know how it's wearing. Yeah, so I will see you guys in a couple hours. It is currently 2:59. It's about to be 3. I am off of work. I'm in my car. Okay, so this is currently what my face looks like 3 hours later. It's just very nice, kind of radiant look to it. My lipstick did wear off. I have to reapply, but as far as everything else, it looks really good. I'm really loving this foundation. It's just giving me such a nice kind of dewy, like satin, natural looking finish. It's nothing like too much. Of course, I am a little bit more oily on my nose, though it's nothing crazy. It just looks like a nice little kiss of like dewiness, if you would say. But yeah, everything else looks really good. I'm gonna give it another couple more hours. I'm pretty sure in a couple hours I'm gonna look a little bit more oily. Yeah, so I do want to do another couple hour check with you guys. So it's 3 right now, 4, 5, so probably around 5 or 6 I will go ahead and give you guys an update. So I will see you guys in a few. It's currently 6:07 right now, and this is going to be the 3-hour check-in after my first check-in. I've currently had the foundation on for 6 hours now, and it's still going so strong, you guys. Like, look at that. It's absolutely amazing. I do not have any highlighter on. So this is all strictly dewiness, and the bronzer that I'm using has a little bit slight some shimmer in it, so I think that's why it looks like I'm having more of like a highlight kind of going on. Some cakiness happening right here in my nose area. That always happens to me, but this kind of looks like it's a little worse today. I don't really think it's the foundation so much. I just think it's the combination of using a thicker concealer today, and then I kind of used it in an area I shouldn't have used that I use the Bye by Undereye concealer. I usually use it only underneath my under eye area because it's such a thick consistency, but then I kind of got carried away today and just kind of put it everywhere, so I regret doing that. But other than that, it's held up really well. Like I said, it just kind of emphasizes any areas where I have a highlight. It just looks like a very kind of like a dewy satin finish. My nose is a little bit, my nose is like the most oily part of my face. It gets the most oily. It actually looks like it's not as oily as my first check-in because I am a dum-dum and I accidentally took my brush and kind of just went over this part of my face because I had little fuzzies on my face. I could feel it from like the dust when I was like dusting, and it's like stuck, like clung to my face, and it was driving me insane. So I took my brush without even realizing it and kind of just like went over real quick, and it kind of mattified my face. But prior to this, it actually was a little bit more oily. It didn't get any more oily than it already was. It kind of just stuck to the same oiliness. But yeah, so far I am absolutely loving this foundation. It just gives such a beautiful, radiant, illuminating glow to the face. I don't even feel like I have anything on my face, honestly. It's very lightweight. It's a medium to buildable full coverage. As you can see from the beginning when I applied it, I did one layer, which I could have just been fine with, but I did want a little bit more extra coverage just to see if I could get that full coverage, and it absolutely gave me that full coverage look for sure. This is one of the best foundations that I have used till this day, so I'm really not going to be like cracking on it because realistically foundations aren't going to give you the natural looking face because you're putting something on your face. So I don't really critique foundations based off of actuality, you know. I don't look for a foundation because I want to look like I'm not wearing makeup. Obviously I don't want it to look like I'm wearing 10 pounds of makeup, but obviously it's gonna look like I am wearing makeup. But it's just as far as the wear of it, how it lives on your skin, how it makes your skin glow, if it does that. This is not a mattifying foundation whatsoever. If you are looking for that, you are not gonna get that with this. So I highly suggest looking for something else if you want something a little bit more matte. But I actually like looking dewy. Even though I am super oily, I do like looking dewy. I just feel like it makes me look a little bit more youthful, a little bit more live. So that is my, what is it, 6-hour check-in now. I'm gonna give it a couple more hours. We'll do my last and final check-in. Hi guys, okay, so I'm back with the final and last check-in for this foundation review. It is currently 10 o'clock. I've been wearing this foundation for 10 hours now, actually. It's been 10 hours, and that actually is quite a long time, longer than the usual amount of time that I would wear a foundation, but I just got busy and I just completely almost forgot about this last check-in. So thank goodness I remembered before I decided to take off all the makeup. This foundation is absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna zoom you guys in. Don't mind my clothing, I'm literally in my sports bra. So yeah, so this is what the foundation looks like after 10 hours of wear. It looks super dewy on me, almost more of an oily look. I would say I wouldn't really rock this as like a dewy look. I definitely would consider it, you need to go and dab and then repowder. But for the most part, I actually really do like the wear of the foundation. I really like how it sits on my skin. Obviously, like I said, I would not be wearing this foundation for 10 hours realistically. I probably would have taken it off after my third check-in of the day, which was around 6-7ish. Do I think it's worth the $58? Not necessarily, just because I feel like there are a lot of other foundations that could give you the same exact results for a cheaper price, from drugstore to high-end. I don't necessarily think this is a must foundation. I probably wouldn't repurchase this just because, like I said, it's not something that I'm like wowed by. It's just another good foundation. If you are into luxury products and you need luxury products, then this foundation will probably be something that you definitely will love. It does leave a beautiful finish and it is long lasting, but like I said, there are many other foundations, both drugstore and high-end. I necessarily don't feel like this is a must. I'm gonna for sure keep it just because it is really nice to have in my collection, and you know, it is a good foundation to just kind of buy once and then be done with it. But like I said, I will not be repurchasing this. It's not something that I was just completely wowed by. I feel like there are a lot of better foundations out there. But yeah, so anyways, you guys, that is my final review. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. If you've tried this foundation and you haven't had the same results, or maybe your results are different, then please leave them down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And yeah, I think that is everything. So until next time guys, thanks for watching as always.